In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this pallet wood chair. It's simple and easy to make, and it's all made out of old pallet wood. So let's get on and show you how it's done. So I wanted to make something out of pallet wood for a chair. Couple of criteria really. I want it to be really quick and easy to make, so not needing much woodworking skills, so anybody could do it. Obviously using the pallet wood, and also I want it so that I can pack it away, so I don't have to leave it out during the winter. And this seat just comes apart, and then you just slide the inside bit down inside. It's easy to pack away. What you're going to need for this is 2 pieces of pallet wood that are 1 metre long, a couple of pieces of pallet wood that are 1 metre 20. Now if you haven't got 1 metre 20, 1 metre is fine, it just means the back of the chair won't be quite as high. And then about 15 or 16 wooden slats that are 50 centimetres long. So we're going to start with the back section. And then what I'm going to do is, for this particular wood, you want it to be sort of reasonably thick wood, so because we're going to be drilling down into the side of here, so make sure you pick your thickest pieces of wood and the most sturdiest pieces of wood for this. So we're going to start off, let's move these slats out of the way. So we're going to start off with 3 slats, and what I'm going to just do is I'm just going to pre-drill those. Let's use a different bit to that. Let's use a nice chunky piece. So for this you want to try and use quite sturdy pieces, because this is going to be part of the fundamental part of the actual build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the edge a little bit, and I'm just going to pre-drill So I'm just using one of these counter bit things that's will drill and countersink at the same time. So what we're looking for is we're just trying to pre-drill right at the edges, not too close to the edge, but near the edges. It just needs to be so that when you put it on here, those holes line up with essentially the middle of the board. So we're going to pre-drill 3 of those. Now we're going to start with the long pieces, and what I'm going to do is just get down to the end of one of these pieces. I'm just going to line that up roughly, put that on the end, and I'm just going to get a screw, 40mm screw, and drill that onto there. Now I'm going to put the second screw in because this is the top part, so I'm just going to actually do the bigger workbench here, but we'll I'm just going to put the top screw in again. In there. So now we've got this bit, and it's a bit wobbly wibbly, but that's fine. That's exactly what we want. We're just putting that top piece on so that we can actually, when we put these bottom boards on, we know we're nice and square and level. So we're going to get our tape at this stage. And I'm just going to, from the bottom here, I'm just going to measure up 20 centimetres. Just put a mark on there for 20 centimetres. Once we've got our mark for 20 centimetres, we're going to get that board, line the top part of the board up with that mark. And again, using our 40mm screws. So I'm just going to line that up, make sure it's flush. And we're going to put all 4 screws in here. Okay, so that's that on the bit on there. Then we're going to flip it over. And then we're going to measure up to 38. So that's 3/8, 38. And put a mark on there. And then we're going to get our other board. So fix this onto one side first, making sure you got it level with your mark. And make sure it's nice and flush on one side. And then put your screws in the other side. And what you'll see here is it doesn't quite line up, and that's because with the board, and that's because when you're doing this with old pallet wood, it's all a bit skewed and swift. So just flex that board out so that it's square, so you get a nice flush on the edge there. And so there we go. So we've got our top board on. At this point, you can turn it back over. So now we're going to switch from 40mm screws to some 30mm screws. As I say, these boards down here are the ones that are going to actually carry the weight of the chair. So we're just going to put 30mm screws in here for the rest of those boards. So we've got our top piece on. We've got one piece that is 20 centimetres up to the top here, one bit that's 20 centimetres up to the top here, one bit that's 38 centimetres at the top. So I'm going to put that to one side for the minute. And now we're going to look at the seat part of it. And again, we're going to use the same principle as before. What we're going to do is we're going to measure up the side on here. So we want this to be 45. And just put a little arrow on there, just to show that is the front part. Okay. So we're going to go 45 there. And I'm just going to put a little arrow on there so I know which is the front. Now what we want to do is when this chair stacks together, we want to be able to stack this chair inside the other one. Now the two bits were the two front bits. This is going to be the front of the chair and this is going to be the back of the chair with a single slat on. So at this stage what we want to do is we want to sort of bring that down through there. I want to check that we've got some clearance. Now we don't have a great deal of clearance there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these top parts up with the top of the chair. And using my pencil, I'm just going to mark across here where they cross over with this backboard. So this is at the end, so we're doing this at the end, so the front part is at the top here and the bit that we're marking is down at the bottom end. And then what I'm going to do is where we've marked this board, I'm just going to cut a small piece out, and that's just to make sure that actually when we come to stack them together, they stack together quite nicely and they're not too tight. So I'm just going to get the jigsaw and cut a little section out. So as you can see, we've just cut a small tiny section out here, and that's so when it slots down inside it's not as tight and it will slot down nice and easy. Now you might not need to do that if these boards give you a good fit, but as I say, I found when I built the other one that just needed a little bit off of there just to make sure that it's stacked properly. Right, so now we'll line these boards up. Where's our 45? We'll just mark across there where our 45 was. And now we're going to need this section back. So just going to put those pieces in there. And just to ensure we get good clearance on here, what I'm going to do is just going to use some of this screw box cardboard. So this is the box that some of the screws come in. And I'm just going to put a few bits of cardboard just down in there. That just ensures that we've got a nice clearance when we actually come to slot them together. Now I'm going to get a board now, and I'm going to lay that across. Now it should be the full width of the actual seat, and I'm going to get our drill. What I'm going to do is drill down in line with this inner board. So obviously remember when you're doing this, you're doing it on the side where you've cut out. Again, we're just pre-drilling just to stop the wood splitting. These pallet boards, as I say, can vary in quality, and if you don't pre-drill them, they will just split out quite easily. Okay, so there we have it. That's one of the boards on. So now all we need to do is we can now we've got that all lined up, we can take the cardboard out, take this inner piece out, get rid of the back piece for the time being. And now we've got our board here. So all we need to do now is put our slats on. So this is just a case of doing it by eye, really. So you want an even overhang on either side. And I think we're going to probably need about 4 boards. 4. So it really is just a case of, now you could use a spacer to get them exactly spaced out. I'm just going to use go by eye. There we go, that's them lined up. That doesn't look too bad. Now I'm just going to go along, drill and fix those in place. And there we go. That's the back part. That's this part done. So now we need to put it into the chair to work out the slats on the upper bit. So this is the upper section, and what we're going to do is just get this, and it goes through there and up to there. So all I want to do is now put this slat on the bottom bit. Just going to pre-drill that. Put some screws in. And I'm just going to put that like about a finger's width or so above there. and fix that on. Now I'm using screws, so you could use nails for this part. The only two bars that really need fixing really well are the 38 centimetre and the 20 centimetre one, because they're the ones that take the weight. Once we've got that bar on, take the thing apart again. And then, like we did on the bottom piece, we're just going to get our slats. We're just going to space those out. Along, and we're just going to, again, we're just going to do that roughly by eye. So that's, now one thing I didn't do on the other one, what I'm going to do on this one, so I'm going to bring this slat, but find a slat that's actually the same width as this top board, or as close as possible as the same width, so it doesn't have a overhang. Maybe this one, that's a good one. So the reason I'm doing that is because I found when I built the other one, when I leant back, my head was here and it was right between two ridges. So I'm just going to actually make the top bit more solid, so I've got a nice place to rest my head. And then space out the others evenly. As I found that when I was building the other one to work out the measurements, in actual fact, your head just ended up in between these two grooves. So we're going to resolve that by having a thicker section at the top. And again, we're just going to go through, pre-drill all these and fix them to the frame. And there we are. So let's put it all back together. So we've got it so that, let's say, when we want to pack it away, this bit just slides inside there, and you can see just goes down to those little notches that we cut out. We just take that away, put it indoors, keep it nice and dry, and then when we come out, we just get this part, slide it inside there, put that down, and there we go. A nice chair made out of pallet wood in under an hour. Got any questions? Feel free to put them down in the comments. As I just reminder of the measurements from the front here. It's 20 centimetres at the top of the board, 38 up to there, and then 45 down to here. Now, I've made this so that it's suitable for me. It's just the right height, right incline. Because these don't come that far forward, you just need to be careful when you get it up, otherwise it will tip a little bit. But what you can do is, the whole principle of this seat is based on this cantilever design where this bit goes through and it's wedged between these two pieces. So if you want it to be slightly more angled up, you just narrow the gap between these two pieces. If you want a flatter seat, you can bring this up a bit and but that will actually mean that the seat, although the seat's flatter, it means the incline will actually be more. So you can adjust these two rails on here to actually get the right angle for what you want. As I say, I found that 20 centimeters up from the side here, 38 centimeters from the side here, just gives you a nice angle for you to sit on. And as I say, this is the problem I had before, was when I had my head back here like this, it was right on the edge of the two boards. So when you're sat here like this, just putting those two boards there, or two or three boards together, just means that you've got a nice place to put your head without it hitting one of the ridges of the board. So there we go. That's our seat done. We'll catch you again next time when we're doing more stuff down at the allotment.